Live.
Do that yell a little more.
Yes.
It's like music to my ears.
I'm here to burst all your fucking bubbles.
Oh.
Yes.
Mr. Midnight Movie. You're no good, man. You're no good.
I'm here to burst all your fucking bubbles.
Are you trained in the nut gargling?
Ah.
Yes.
You put them in, you go down, blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
Man,
Truth about America, baby.
you're no good.
Nikki.
Man, you're no good.
Great Nikki.
You're no good. It's like music to my ears. Music to my ears. Man.
Did you stop?
Did you guys say ghosts?
Yes.
You're no good, man. You're no good.
You know what a money shot is?
Music to my ears. You're no good, man.
Truth about America, baby.
Cheers,
Come
producer.
on, Nikki.
Cheers,
Come
producer.
on, Nikki.
We here at Rocket would like to take a moment to correct some gross misapprehensions about our radio show. We're nothing but hackers on steroids,
Yes.
a group bent on hate.
Yes. Cheers,
Come on,
producer.
Nikki.
It's like music to my ears.
Cheers,
Come
producer.
on, Nikki.
It's like music to my ears. Music to my ears.
Yes.
You gotta smoke weed during a midnight movie. Popcorn, some fucking goobers. Come on.
Twizzlers.
On.
Twizzlers. Twizzlers.
Twizzlers?
Twizzlers.
Twizzlers.
And we made 'em.
Music to my ears.
Going way back in time.
All right, shut the fuck up.
Oh, boy.
Everyone picked up their popcorn to the screen and went, I can't believe it's not butter.
I can't believe it's not butter. You know, that's an old video that you and I made year ago.
How many years ago?
2000, January 2013.
So,
And,
like,
I'll be honest,
so over
man.
6 years ago, man.
It's been a long time since we started these, and you're listening to Transparency and Merit.
Well, it's hard to buy. We can't buy any new clothes in Republic of Liberty. I wonder who Republic of Liberty is.
You don't know?
Is it Howard?
That's Howard.
Oh.
But I'm not even wearing the same shirt, so you can't even. Never mind.
How do you know I don't have more than one of these? The hat, though, that's just one. I might buy more of these, though, but I like this hat.
I've got 3 knit caps, and I love them all. So yeah, different clothes, different day. Nick is here, the champ. The champ.
The champ is here. So
Tonight,
Fanaticism, yeah.
Pandemic and fanaticism. What you like this topic? I think.
Well, it covers to me a lot of ground. Pandemic and fanaticism. And I want to take this time to really kind of expose the fanaticism that is accepted, and it's accepted on the left, and it allows for minority solidarity, does not allow for others, and it's also, and I think I've changed, I could be wrong, but I was talking to a person on the internet, on Twitter, and at first we were at odds, and then I think that we kind of perhaps became a little bit more agreeable. I'm not sure though. but there was it was the Twitter following anti-Asian racism, and there was a lot of things going. It was let's see, let me look at this. It was Yellow Peril supports Black Power. That was one of the sayings. And this is
or no.
What's that?
Are they on your Twitter or not?
He might be on my Twitter. I'm not really sure.
I was just gonna bring up your Twitter and see what you had going on. Okay, but go on.
Yeah. But did you hear that in the background?
No, what's going on?
There is an angry person yelling fuck you and other obscenities outside of my apartment window.
Right out there in Santa Monica. Lovely Santa Monica, home of the homeless, by the way.
That's correct. You've got my Twitter up there, and actually, that would be the person who was on my Twitter, who I was arguing with, by the way.
That's what I think. Is it
Patrick Yoshida?
All right.
And I didn't want to put him out. Like I said, I don't know if I want to put him out there. Put him on, because like I said, he retweeted my stuff. I don't like to put people on blast. I really don't have an urge to basically do that. Although I disagree to a point with him, but he seemed to be rather reasonable. He's the only one, by the way, who tweeted me back, which means to a degree. Now, he was pissed off at what I said because I've been pissed. I mean, to me, and like I said, I'm willing to consider this to be wrong. I know you and I disagree, but I think there is a cold civil war brewing in this country, and it's between the noble and the unnoble, the fanatical and the unfanatical. And there's fanaticism to go around. The left allows for what they call minority fanaticism, or fanaticism of protected classes. It does not allow fanaticism, and it's only white Gentiles that it does not allow fanaticism from. They'll shut that down immediately, but they give a lot more leeway to the fanaticism on the other side, and you can't even really question it. And you can't really question the fanatical anti-racist. Basically, they are, in my opinion, very metastasized in a lot of our society, whether it's public or private, whether it's big government or big business. They are truly entrenched in just about all facets of our life. And whoa, did I do that, Joe, or did you just put me on the big screen all by myself? I'm just seeing myself here, but yeah, they've put themselves out on the large facets of all of our lives. And am I speaking by my Joe? Are you here still? I'm not. Did you just leave the the convo? I'm not seeing you, Joe, and I'm thinking, is this still record? I'm wondering if this is still recording live. Folks, we've had a little bit of technical difficulty. I'm just curious to see if we are still on, if we are still live. So I'm going to check that out real quick. This technology is rather new to me, so I hope you're patient with me. Yeah, so let me look here. I'm just looking here real quick with me. All right, there we go. We are on, and I don't see Joe on there. And did Joe just leave? and I'm just looking him up right now. He just gave me a text message, and he thinks he got kicked off of the internet. Unbelievable. So we've had a gentleman on here who I don't know why you would do that. I mean, that's just, well, we have a person here who was able to basically kick us off the internet. So usually I have a conversation with somebody, and that's not necessarily going to happen today, just because he has been kicked off the internet. I don't know if we can restart the show, but something just happened where I think, wait, you're back on.
There we go.
Were you, Joe, were you kicked off the internet?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened, but we are back. I'll share that screen again.
Okay, good enough. Because all of a sudden I saw my own self on the internet, and but I wanted to just touch briefly. This is just one of the topics I wanted to touch briefly. I don't think fanaticism, regardless of who's doing it, is your friend. They will always disappoint you, and a lot of these, like Asian groups going in with militant black groups, they're not going to go well, just because they mix to a degree like oil and water, and you will never bow down. You will never bow down enough to satisfy those individuals. The same thing is if Asian groups went into a neo-Nazi group. You're never going to bow down enough to suit their fanaticism. It doesn't work. Okay? In the end, these people are very myopic, and they're never going to see your side. You can do what you want. Here's another thing that I say, and this one will usually get them angry, but I always say, if you think America's a racist nation, this or that, after all this is done, buy a plane ticket and move to the Black Power nation, South Africa. And then film your experiences there, and show me in practice what you mean. Don't tell me in theory. Don't give a hoot what you say. Show it to me in practice. Anyway, that's about all I have to say on that. I mean, that particular subject. I mean, I may have more to add to it later on. Like the left, the anti-racist left, always does things to astound. I mean, like when I think that they haven't astounded me and amazed me with their myopic behavior and their censorious actions, they always take a new turn and a new cut. So they'll continue to. I'll continue to keep abreast on that, because they, I don't see them ever kind of giving up on this, and that ties into the ego. Their egos are tied to it, and to me, it's the biggest narcotic known to man. I know that we've talked, and I got the impression that you think that ego is a good thing. It may be, but when it's unhealthy, I think it also can be unhealthy, and.
Well, I likened it a lot to how drinking is in America.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when drinking is basically there's a restriction on there's an age limit, right, on drinking, and so young men and women approach that 21 threshold and get very excited and start binge drinking, and they drink to get drunk and blacked out drunk. In other parts of the world, like France, where children are allowed to drink from an early, there's less alcoholism as a result. grow up and they understand and respect alcohol and what it does to their bodies and to their minds. And drug abuse is no different. In countries where drugs are legal, there are lower numbers of addiction, and there's less rampant drug use. The same thing goes for ego, and I think ego is something that has been bashed out of men and women, and they don't, and when they do have egos, a lot of people abuse that ego, and they don't know how to harness it because they're not taught at a very young age what it is and how it affects the body and the mind, and how you can have impacts on other people's just whatever you can impact other people by using and abusing ego. So that's just kind of my stand. I think it's been something that we've been educated through forever to too much ego is bad. Keep your ego in check. All this kind of things that don't really give ego a good name, but I think ego is powerful.
Well, I think, like I said, a lot of times people have negative experiences with people who have big egos, and a lot of times people with big egos can be big assholes. And one of the things that's a problem primarily with the left, but and I see this with the right too, like like these rabid Trump supporters or the anti-Trump supporters. A lot of people, they have their ego tied to an issue, and particularly when they get to college and they learn about things like racism and things like that. They get their ego tied to it, and then they don't want to listen to the other side. They've demonized the other side, and it becomes like a fanatical religion. And you can't, like you have, you're not going to listen to the other side. And look, there are things that I'm kind of hardwired perhaps to believe in myself, but I also have to be able to look at the other side. Listen, we're facing something. Regardless of whether people believe this pandemic is real or not, this is affecting our lives, the way we conduct ourselves, and what businesses are open or that are not open. We're affected by this negatively. And we have to discuss what is happening and all of the issues and what we see out there. I mean, that's all I know. And right now, I don't trust, like I've said before, and I'll say this probably a million times during many different podcasts and YouTube shows. I don't trust the media, and I don't trust my government until they're, until I'm proven otherwise. I mean, I don't like everything they say is a lie, but a lot of what they say is untrue, and a lot of the numbers and stuff are untrue. And the media, man, from what I know about the media, they lie a lot. I mean, I don't want to get back into the Central Park Five and how all of a sudden now they're innocent when they were found guilty. And look, I mean, the mainstream media is not telling the full story on what happened with the whole case. The fact that they were, I'm hearing they weren't charged with rape; they were charged with assault. They had assaulted joggers and bicyclists on the way. So these Central Park Five guys were not angels, and they were not these noble people that the documentary and the docudrama, When They See Us, made them out to be. It's just a complete and utter bunch of nonsense. And people are falling for this hook, line, and sinker. I mean, and you can't even discuss it. It's like, geez, it's like, if there was a docudrama about Jesse James, you could discuss whether it's true or not. But this, which is in recent history, and the people who lived through it are alive, and there are contradictory stuff that both the documentary and the docudrama are there, and like the confession tapes are there. It's like people have become really lazy, and so people should do a little bit of their homework on things. I wanted to get into the next subject, by the way, Joe,
Okay.
which is Record My Hospital. I think it's called. It's trending on Twitter. I don't know if it's called Record My Hospital or if it is called. Let me see here what they call it. By the way, Film Your Hospital is a thing in Twitter right now.
Did you get me a link for that?
It's not a link. If you go on Twitter, Joe, and you type in the hashtag Film Your Hospital, it's trending news on there right now.
All right. I might need you to find it because I'm having a little bit of my.
Are you on? If you can get on Twitter, let me get off Twitter right now. But it's Film Your Hospital, and there's just a lot of different images out there, and there's both pro and con about the COVID-19 being a bit of a hoax or being true or not. I mean, like I said, I still, with the evidence, the overwhelming evidence in front for me that I'm seeing, it looks to be true. Very much so. There are other things that have been hoaxes in the past that I believe to be true, and then ended up being completely a lie. And I was, ready for the lynch mob. So I don't have that kind of.
Yeah, I'm not having much luck with my searches right now, so we'll have to do.
Oh, is Twitter not up right now? Is your Twitter not up, Joe?
Web surfing's really slow. Really, there's something going on here. So,
well, I mean, anyone who's on Twitter can just look up "Film My Hospital." Is it called "Film"?
What's the principle there? What's going on? Tell us.
Well, as I'm looking here, they're showing empty hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
On Twitter. So, and I've had a few people tweet to me. Let's see. There was a login to your account. Okay. It's called Film Your Hospital, and it's showing a lot of empty parking lots. But they say, they don't have a lot of their non-essential workers. So, now this one shows a very crowded hospital taken in Cleveland. So there's a lot of conflicting information out there on what is true and what isn't, and how bad. I mean, if this thing is real, and how bad, and like if it is real, how bad it is. I think it's very bad. I don't think they would. I don't see the motivation of them wanting to shut down the entire country for something like this. This is something that hurts us all, Joe. So that's just my opinion. But I'm seeing videos of parking lots, but they said the reason for that is they've gotten rid of a lot of their essential workers on that. And that sounds like, to me, a valid kind of reason. But people have at least started to investigate.
Right. It's if the numbers are what they say they are, there should be more foot traffic at the ERs. It's plain and simple.
And that's, I mean, that might be.
They're not going to be trickling in. There's going to be a lot more foot traffic in every city across the country. That's how it would be in a situation where the numbers, if the numbers that they're telling us are accurate, then that's what we should be seeing. But again, there are hospitals, like you said, that look like they're being flooded out. So,
yeah, I mean, but there are pictures of hospitals overwhelmed, and like I said, I mean, I'm tending to believe that this situation is real, and that, like, man, the economy though has taken such a hit from this, man. This is like people aren't able to pay their rent. And I don't know if I were the owner of a building, I don't know what I would do.
If you could be owner of what building?
If I was the owner of an apartment,
Mm-hmm.
and I depended on people's rent, I don't know what I would do, man.
You do what everybody else is doing, and you'd get a grant, most likely.
Yeah.
You'd have to do everything you could do to, but they're not suffering any more than anyone else because, I mean, who knows what deals are. I think when, the more people you're responsible for, small businesses, 50 employees, I think, or less, or it might be a little bit different.
Are these news companies going to get a grant as well, Joe?
Well, like PRS Newswire is probably, they're probably draining in the money right now.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Stories are coming. I want to do a show, by the way, about the news cycles. We've touched on it in the past, but let's see. Where do you find trending? Yeah, in the future, I think we should get there. Where are the? Oh, here we go. Trends. This is. I don't see that one on mine, but I probably have my trend. Let's see here. Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah. Let's see if I can bring that one up. Thanks everybody for being here so far. We got Andy Bowen. This show is fake live.
It is fake live, folks. So, yeah, I mean, I welcome anyone on there. And
hospitals still have another 3 weeks before they start getting busy. I disagree. I think if people were really feeling effects and getting scared, they'd be going. New York getting full. Okay. All right. How you doing? Welcome. What's our topic? Look right. Pandemic and fanaticism. Why did you say fanaticism? Are you calling these people that are filming the hospitals fanaticism? Is this a fanaticism?
Well, no. Well, I wanted to talk about the pandemic, but I also wanted to talk about fanaticism. And the fact that, there's been a large chunk of cash, and it's going to be given to news programs, and a lot of them are filled with fanatics. The ADL is going to be getting money, and they have lied they have lied by omission in the past. And they're getting, I guarantee you, these individuals are going to be getting grants. And it does kind of anger me that a group that has misrepresented itself and, it did a study and hid the study. And there, there was, and the thing is, the ADL is all over the world. And I think they may even be behind, them suppressing the study and the Rotherham rape in the English grooming gang cases. And if they're getting money to suppress evidence and things like that, that's really disgusting. Mm-hmm. Because they are major censors. They are really an un-American. As far as I can tell, the ADL is a very un-American group. They don't debate. They basically censor. And that, to me, is very much un-liberty and un-American. So as we're looking here now, we're looking at Film Your Hospital. And, you're seeing some empty corridors and some empty parking lots and the like. But as I've said before, they've gotten rid of their essential workers. The only workers that are there are the workers that are essential. So, but I don't know how crowded the hospital corridors are either. So, and we need to examine all this fact, because either we've been lied to by China. We've been lied to. If this is, I believe this is true, and the fact is that if this is true, like I believe it is, we've been lied to by China. The mainstream media didn't see it. Our government didn't see it. So what the hell is going on here? And why didn't our government see this? Why wasn't we spend billions of dollars on defense.
Deanna went to 2 hospitals in Los Angeles to check out these war zones, in quotes, the mainstream media keeps telling us about. They're very quiet and empty. We are not being told the truth. Why? Let's get film your hospital trending. All right. So there's hospitals here in LA just deserted.
And I'll tell you something, Joe. I wouldn't put it past that the Chinese government didn't maybe pay some of these people to build this kind of pandemic and make it up. So that, the thing is, what I've heard is
we are going to do a show, our next show on how news is delivered, because I don't feel people know. They don't understand. They don't understand that any willing participant can go to PRS Newswire with a story. You could write a story out of thin air. And if you know their processes and you're willing to pay, you could have a completely handwritten story that you write that with no fact checks, and it could be submitted and it could be published through PRS Newswire in 2 to 3 hours. I'm going to explain this. We're going to do a show tomorrow. If you have time, we should break this down. I think there's a lot of good, there's information there that people should know. Just, you're reading a lot. People are taking in a lot of news, a lot of information every day, and they should just know these things. But anyways, let's just carry forward.
People have a lot of time on their hands. And like I said, if this is true, our government dropped the ball again, just as they dropped the ball on 9/11. The people were actually getting their green cards. I think they had applied for green cards, and they were actually getting them by the government, the 9/11 hijackers. And now, we have a pandemic that came out of China. I thought we had the technology, to see, we have drones and other things. Don't we have the technology to see what the hell is going on in China? And we can't say, hey, this is coming out of China. We need to get our borders in order, and we need to, and we need to maybe quarantine some people. There's some hot spots there, and we need to get on this now. Why didn't that happen? If this is the pandemic, how did we drop the ball on this? What was our government doing? We have all of this technology. We have all forms of things that we can look on the ground and see what's going on in China. I don't even know if we even need actual people there to do surveillance on a problem of a pandemic. I'm thinking maybe we can fly satellites or drones or something like that we can't see, and China has been our enemy for years. We may be doing business, but they're not a friendly business partner. We fought them during the Korean War. They killed several thousands of our American servicemen, and we killed, I think, over 1 million of theirs. So we're not exactly on the best of terms. Anyway, hey Joe, I have to use the restroom real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
So I'm just going to turn off the webcam just a few seconds here, and then I'll turn it back on.
Right on. So while he's away, I'm just gonna just say last night I did a really fun show with Gigi, and we got into a lot of topics. Midnight Blend is the show. I'll post a link after this is over if you haven't seen that already. But it was good. It turned out really good. But we've been busy. Yesterday, Brian and I did a show. We were going to do a second one, but I flaked on him. And now we're here looking at hospital. Film your hospital. There's some angry people here. This one's pretty funny. There's somebody who really kind of went off on the whole concept earlier up here. Let's see if I can find it again. Yeah, these people are at odds right now. We can't take okay. Film your hospital isn't no shit, the streets are empty. Everyone is under lockdown. What the fuck is up with all the fucking imbeciles in the film your hospital hashtag thinking that because it doesn't look like 9/11, it's gotta be a hoax. All right. The MSN is saying the hospitals are overrun. Nobody is saying it's a hoax. I don't care about your opinions. Well, so even this is getting heated. Of course, he answered that with, I don't care about your response. I guess the issue there then is the media is saying that the hospitals are overrun and they're war zone. And I think that's what this hashtag was about. It wasn't about calling it out as a hoax necessarily. So,
well, the media does.
It's been scaring people, right? I don't know. Have you been watching any of the news? The minute I start watching it, it's like a horror film.
Yeah.
It pulls me in and it scares me.
And it may, you know what? It may very well be. This may be, like I said, this seems like a pandemic to me. And where was our government? I mean, we spend all this tax dollars. Now we have a stimulus package that is huge, that may have a horrible effect on inflation, on every. I mean, like the kind of ramifications that a large stimulus package like this has on the American, on the American people and on the world. I mean, this quarantine, like, man, it's going to have a negative impact. That's for sure. And I honestly, I don't know where we go from here. You know? I mean, I don't know how, I don't even know if we're going to be able to recover. You know, I mean, I am worried about that. I mean, the thing is, Stefan Molyneux was saying, you know, China has a lot of our debt. They propped up the housing market, and if they pull their money back in the real estate bubble, I guess it's burst now because no one's buying anything, and people are afraid. So the real estate market's already going to burst. But if we have a kind of an uptick, then it'll be better. But you know, this kind of thing is affected. You know, like even worse than bombing us. Because we can't, you know, it's infected by human to human. So because after the bombs, after we're bombed, we can get together and pick up the rubble and stuff, but we can't do that. We can't pick up anything. We can't, you know, have human to human contact. And the only thing that we can have is like contact over the phone and contact on the internet, but we can't meet in large groups. As you said before, we can't meet in large groups, and we can't meet in large groups over the internet because there are certain things that we can't say on the internet because they've censored the internet. So we can't, not
to mention, okay, this is also the barn door from Animal Farm, if you know the book. but from people going to gathering in small groups or a group of 10 or more, which isn't allowed now in face to face. Say they do go meet online. Now you've created a digital fingerprint, and so there's a lack of privacy in that. It isn't the same. I'm just saying.
Well, no, you're right. But the fact is we can't get together on large groups. Like there is a fingerprint. Well, they will know who you are. There are a lot of people who go out and tell on people and cancel them out because they've said something or done something that they feel is hateful or racist, and they're canceled for life. And there's no trial. At least the Nazis, there were the Nuremberg trials. Here, there's no trial. You're canceled without any consideration. It's a lynch mob. It's mobocracy. It's just like completely, all of the values of America are just going by the wayside. If you're bad, if you do something that I don't like, guess what? If you're saying conspiracy theory stuff, or if you're saying something that I believe is racist or hateful, guess what? You're being canceled, and we can't, try to raise up against it. They're too powerful. And to me, these fanatics are instituted in every, like I said, every business. And it's also the people who are against conspiracy theories. Maybe it's true, maybe it isn't. What if they try to, what if they do find a vaccine and they make every American, hey, you have to now take the vaccine? Can we talk about hey, wait a minute, I don't want to take this. I don't feel it's healthy for me. I feel it's, I don't know what they're pumping into my body. I'm a human being. I'm an individual. Or they all want you to go to a meeting to find out how to be healthy and how to be clean. And it's a mandatory meeting on how you're to conduct your life. Maybe they found something, a new, hey, you're being a toxic person online, and, we need to stop this. So we need to have these mandatory meetings. So, because sooner or later, government control, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And who's controlling that? Who cancels them out when they do wrong? It's just a thought out there, Joe.
Yeah, it's all good stuff. And not to mention, you haven't even gotten into the cryptocurrency issue that's going on. And if we do go to and I think some countries have already incorporated crypto into their banking systems. But if we go down that road, I think adopting crypto would be the greatest loss of freedom we'd ever known. And so I'm worried about that. And it's one of those things that I don't know how much of a say we're going to have before it's too late. People need to start waking up to these sort of realities. But, what happens when we do go into, say we are mandated, we no longer use cash, and we go to this crypto system. And, I was using this example the other day, yesterday, and you I don't know, you could be flagged so many ways. If you're censored on YouTube, is that going to be connected to your money? Or if you don't pay your car registration, and are you going to be able to access your money if you're late on registering your car? Or there's all these strange things that, we're going to basically, it basically comes down to this, Brian. For all the convenience and pleasure that I think people are used to and take for granted, there is a cost, and all of these things are coming out right now. These issues, I think we're paying the cost for all that convenience and pleasure.
Joe, what we've seen right now Since the expansion of the internet, we've seen the expansion of control. We've seen the expansion of digital outrage mobs who can try to get you fired from work, taken off of PayPal, losing bank accounts. And these laws, basically, in my opinion, we have the Public Accommodations Act of the 1964 Civil Rights Act, which was written in the spirit of the 14th Amendment of equal protection under the law. And it really goes against that. And we've given these outrage mobs far too much control. And my thing is, I want to see it. I want to see that kind of ended. I want to see less power in these leftist outrage mobs. I don't think they're going to, and they're not going to go quietly. And they've just been given a boatload of money to have lawyers. I mean, like I said, when we do go out into the streets, are we going to be able to protest or hold rallies without far leftist mobs trying to attack us and beat us up, as we've seen in the past? That shouldn't, after this happens, since we've been able to quarantine people, we should be able to stop people from infringing upon our freedom of speech, whether it be on college campuses or public streets. If you can keep people inside from infecting other people, you can protect our rights of freedom of speech, our First Amendment rights. You can do that. I don't know if anyone's going to call in yet, Joe.
Maybe not, but I'm just going to throw it out there. Call in if you want to, 668-1969. That's 310.
Yes. It is a 310 number. If anyone does want to call in, like I said, we're just kind of starting this kind of thing, so we're kind of new here to this. If anyone is going to call in.
More important is that you subscribe. We definitely want to get our interviews going, too. We have tons of great interviews, so we should get on that, especially while everyone has the time to do them.
Absolutely. So I'm looking here as well, Joe. And yeah, I mean, we had Film Your Hospital, and then we have the coronavirus truth. And okay, let me see here. They have, the subways are full. And the mayor, the governor of New York said that if President Trump forced orders of quarantine, it would be like an act of war on the people. Like I said, there's a lot of information out there of different sources, and it's like, which one's the truth? And like I said, the mainstream media has been caught lying several times, so how can they be trusted to give us any truth? Joe?
All right, so do you want to get some fear in you? Because Darren wants to talk. He always has scary stories.
Has Darren, okay, Darren, come on in, man.
I think he knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who's died.
Who's died on yes. Darren?
All right.
Hello.
Are you there? Can you hear us? Darren?
Hello?
I was muted.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now that you're not muted.
Yes. I tried unmuting, but I muted. So it seems like a lot of people think that they're going to get out of this thing without getting it.
hiding inside. That's not the point of everybody hiding inside.
That's not.
What's the
uh,
point?
not
What is the point of everyone hiding inside?
It's to keep the peak down so that we have ICU beds when everyone starts getting it. It's has nothing to do with not getting the virus or avoid getting the virus. It does for the old people, but most people are going to get this damn thing.
You
There's-
think most Americans are?
There's your
You think
fear.
most Americans are going to get corona?
Yeah, 70.
There's your fear.
I remember in 1986 when that flu came through. We all got it. A lot of people died. My girlfriend at the time was on the front page of the USA Today. That's how I remember it so well. It was a
Did you
bad
die?
flu too. And 2/3 of Americans got it by the time it rolled through in May, and we got it in January.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you something. I mean, I'm hoping you're wrong, Darren. I'm pissed off at my government. I'll tell you this right now. Where the hell was our State Department? Why didn't they know that China had a major virus out? Why didn't they know that this thing was afoot?
Yeah, it was too late. It just got out too much.
Don't you think they dropped the ball?
They did. They got a hold of SARS. They figured, oh, they got a hold of that. We're so lucky they got a hold of SARS, and that
Yeah,
was
no, you're right on that.
one of these, and it was a lot more deadly than this one. But also the people were sicker, and so they knew they were sick. They would go inside. With this one, more than 50% of the people absolutely have no freaking idea they got it. And until they test you and me and everybody, I have no idea. We all three of us could have already had it for all we know. We don't know.
That's true.
In Iceland, they tested everybody, and it was under like 0.8% of the population had died. It wasn't 3% or whatever.
So what do you?
It was
think?
under 1%.
So you're saying 70% will get it. How many of those? What percentage of the 70% are going to die from it?
Oh, I bet we lose 100,000. If we can keep our ICU beds open. The whole point of us being inside right now is to flatten the curve. It has nothing to do with not getting the virus. And it's so irritating having people getting super mad about people going out because they think that everybody get inside to kill the virus and then we can get on with our lives. That ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. So there's no reason to be mad at people for being out as long as you're not being around other people that are old or, you know. If you go out, act like you got the virus, stay away from people, wash your hands, don't cough on anybody, don't touch your face. Don't touch anyone else's face. Don't sneeze.
Can I touch your face?
Oh, sheesh.
Thank you.
The first time I ever saw your face. So we're gonna, even if we're inside and locked in, the virus is going to creep up to our apartment beds and inside our home, and we're going to get it. Because I live alone, by the way.
No, you could stay in your apartment for 2 years and never get it. You'll be one of the 20% that don't get it. But who wants it? I mean, if you have the money to do that, I mean, and you have the patience, but you can drive around. You can be in your car. I mean, it's so dumb. These people are getting so mad, like on Facebook, like my relatives. Why are you driving around? Driving around. I drove up to an empty trail. You shouldn't be out. You shouldn't be out. Fuck. Give me a break.
Well, let me say this. How about these people that that are having, like, I was looking at these people in this low-income housing project, and they were having a party.
Oh, I know. It's terrible. In Netherlands, they said they want the kids to just go to the parks and mingle about.
No.
It's they want them to mix it up, and the kids, most of them aren't dying, so they want the herd immunity to go through there. Now in Brazil, that guy's nuts. They're going to have so many people in the ICUs are going to be out the door.
Yeah, no, you're right on that.
It'll be like Italy, and in New York too. Unless they can really get some people out of there, it's going to be the same thing. I bet. I'll bet you anything, JP.
All right, you're on.
Is there another person on here?
I feel like when
I hope. I wish there was, but I think it's just us.
Oh, I thought we had another person come on. You know, we haven't had too many. We've only had 2 ladies come on, and that's it. And
where are all the ladies? You got ladies should be calling us. Our phones should be off the hook.
Yeah, I just got done walking around the lake and jogging. They closed my health club, so I'm trying to stay halfway in shape. I have to go back to work tomorrow.
Oh, so how you're back to work then?
Yeah, the millennials are taking the money. They're getting a lot more money to not work.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd prefer to keep the job just in case, like 6-8 weeks from now. You never know. There could be a hiring freeze or anything. So,
well, I mean, what the hell is going to happen to our economy once this thing blows over? And people are talking like it could go as long as 18 months. What the hell is going to happen to our economy?
No one knows. It could bounce right back, which is probably what I think will happen. I think once we're on the downside of the curve and people aren't afraid to go outside, they just are doing the social distancing, you know, and restaurants are doing social distancing and people are getting into the habit of it. I think that it'll be like a new normal and things will go back to normal pretty quick.
I wonder if the movie houses, like if they're gonna, I guess they might be getting a grant or a loan, but like, you know, I mean, this is unheard of. Like, you know, like who heard of not going, even during wartime when they were.
My friend, the week before they closed them, went to a movie a day, and not a single person was in the theater besides himself.
Oh, and the strip clubs, forget it. Those women are suffering right now.
Yeah, the
no,
homeless.
I just wonder.
The homeless are wailing. They're so hurting for drugs because they're getting no money. They're getting no cans.
Well, they're going to get some money for drugs, but yeah.
Well, soon they will. God bless the people that are still working down there with the homeless. Oh my goodness! Talk about the front lines.
Well, yeah, and the thing about Portland is the I've heard, and I don't know if it's still true, but they said it is the Portland and Oregon. The state of Oregon itself has the largest concentration of methamphetamine addicts.
Yeah, I think there might be one state like in the Midwest it's worse or something, but yeah, we're right up there.
Joe, when you were in Portland, were there a lot of tweakers?
There were, and I always heard about them being in the cities outside of Portland, though. So those were all a lot of cities I had never made it down to go check out. But yeah, that's. Do you find is that true, Darren? Are they in?
I'm 2 blocks from Ground Zero for that. I mean, all the soup kitchens and shelters and the free needles are just like 3 blocks down from my hotel, unfortunately. So yeah, I see it all the time. It's interesting. It's interesting to see him walk around and not have any people to give him money.
Now, how often do you see prostitution? Like in the hotel? Like
rarely.
Really?
Oh, at the hotel all the time, but it's like high-end stuff.
Yeah.
They get dropped off by somebody in some fancy black Beamer with black windows.
Mm.
And then they go inside for 3 hours and then they come back out.
Yeah. Now, how often? Now, I've heard that like Portland also. Not only is it the largest concentration of methamphetamine addicts, but also it is the largest concentration of strip clubs.
Heroin.
Oh, is heroin really bad there as well?
Yeah, we have lots of free needles. What were you going to say? I'm sorry. I thought that's what you were going to say.
No, I was going to say strip clubs, but they're all closed down, man.
Strip club. Yeah, it's the highest, the most strip clubs per capita.
I think me and Joe, like we might have we may have a little bit of cheddar. We might be able to open up something down there when things, because everything's going to be closed down, bankruptcy, and we might be able to move on in.
Yeah.
I'm already starting to see some places saying they're closed down for good.
Oh, wow.
Like signs on windows, not
I haven't
like just
seen
temporary.
that. I was wondering when that would start making the news, but that's interesting. I haven't seen it yet.
Are there any grants that we can write for that? Those are, what's going to happen?
Fuddruckers for years, anyways. All our
Fuddruckers
went
is
out of
really
business.
struggling.
Well, they
The
said
ones that are right on the verge of going bankrupt anyways, and they just said, "Oh, to hell with it."
That's it. We're done.
Yeah, not going to survive that.
I watched a video on the Great Depression, and they said during the Great Depression, I mean, people did commit suicide, and they a lot of murder happened. But they said after a while, the one thing that improved was people's health, just due to the fact that they stopped, like all the bad habits that they were doing. They didn't have the money for that.
Yeah. That's exactly right. That's what happens in the poor countries in South America. There aren't no drug addicts.
Can't afford it.
Can't afford drugs. It's a first world problem. I mean, there's homeless people that are truly homeless and broke, like in India, and blind or whatever. But being homeless because of drugs, that's the first world problem.
Yeah. No, you're right on that.
And it's pathetic. And it doesn't need to be here. It doesn't need to be. It's too bad. You're right.
Now, by the way, I have, and someone said that I was completely wrong on this, but that Antifa, a lot of Antifa are probably, they're there because they can rob people. They're meth addicts. And one of the things that Antifa does is they beat up people and then they'll steal their camera or take their wallet. I wonder if a large percentage of them are also just like, petty criminals, robbing people for their drug habit.
I think they're just the radicals from college, like from Reed and stuff. I don't know. But they're really not a big problem in Portland. It just makes the headlines. We rarely see them. I mean,
yeah. But some of the things I've seen of them, they get kind of like, and the thing is, the police seem to be standing down on them, and that really has pissed me off. Because I
would say that's accurate.
If we can
see the police presence that's nearby when they do it. So what they do is they have the police there, and they're kind of mingling them about them, and they let them kind of do their thing. But nearby, within 2 or 3 blocks, there's SWAT van after SWAT van after SWAT van. And when there's violence at all, they come in and just shut the whole damn thing down. They start throwing them in the vans. I've got great video of them blasting this one lady that was really. I took the whole video from the rooftop. I should put it on YouTube for you. You would enjoy it.
Yeah, you should.
In the van, they whack her head right into the top of it.
I mean, these people need to go to jail, and they need to be prosecuted like really fully. But I think they're protected by the Lawyers Guild. So unlike the Proud Boys, that when they try to do crowdfunding are kicked off. Basically, the Lawyers Guild that protects domestic terrorism gets crowdfunding and gets money for protecting terrorism, and it's something I really don't like.
Where the hell is Antifa, Brian, right now? This is what they wanted.
I guess. Well, I mean,
why are they out rabble rousing?
because there's nobody out there. I mean, and I'm wondering if the SJWs at this point in time are going to be kind of irrelevant because our nation is facing a crisis, and that kind of crap. That's all. Those are all first world. Just as drugs are a first world problem. I mean, it could go two ways. It could, radicalize them even more, or it could be like, hey, this is a first world problem. These are first world problems that you're complaining about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
So, Darren, have you seen any movies lately on?
Yes, I saw The Platform. Have you seen it?
No.
So there's a prison, and it's a high-rise prison. So you just have one floor over another for 250 floors. And at the very top, right in the middle of the floor is a platform, a square platform. And it starts at the top. They put all the food on it once a day, and then it makes its way down to the very bottom. And every 30 days, you get randomly put on a different floor.
Now, are the people there kind of animalish? Do they just go down and scarf on each other?
Oh, dude, you got to see it. It's awesome. It's really good. It's a foreign film. It's dubbed, but it's actually dubbed really well. Sometimes I hate dub movies, but this one was fine. Look at the trailer. You get a chance.
Right now, we're living the first part of the Contagion. These Contagion movies. I mean, pretty soon. I mean, right now. I mean, we don't have any toilet paper, but I think society is going to start breaking down more and more. I mean, I can see society just like rioting in the streets, people killing each other.
I don't think so.
Yeah, man, it's gonna happen. No, I don't know. You might be right. I'm hoping you're right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
man, he'll be back.
Yeah.
Because you know what? After this, I think that anything is possible after this.
There's another virus brewing up over in China right now, and that's kind of spooky.
Yeah. Maybe we got to seal them off and don't let them go anywhere. Like hey, seal off our borders. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is, but this is an unlivable life at this point, dude. It's like, I don't want to live like this. I don't want things shut down. I want to go to the movies again. And maybe I even want to go to the strip clubs again. I want to live my life. I want to go out to a restaurant and order a cheeseburger or a steak.
Never.
You can still do all that stuff. You just got to get it to go and take it home. And then if you watch a movie,
I want to eat it there with the ambiance. I want that old Italian lady from Petrelli's to give me a hard time.
Eating in restaurants, though, it's almost passe anyways.
Oh, come on, dude.
Almost there.
Dude.
Eating in's not a thing anymore. It hasn't been.
Mama Petrelli is waiting. Joe, Mama Petrelli is waiting for both of us.
I can't wait to go over and see her.
You go over there. When this is over, we're gonna go over there and we're gonna give her a big smooch on the cheek.
No
Mama
virus
Petrelli
is gonna kill that pickled woman.
Oh, no way. Mama Petrelli. Mama, sit down. Eat she's the kind of person she'll say eat it or wear it. She's gonna dump it on your head. If she can lift it, that high, she'll tell you eat all.
Yeah, have you been going out, Brian?
What's that?
Have you been going outside?
Oh yeah.
Good.
I'm glad I don't live in a big city. Like I'm glad I live south of Portland quite a ways. Because it's really not that different here. Although 7-Eleven closed and now I can't go in there. That's kind of weird.
Wait, the 7-Eleven is completely closed?
Yes.
Oh, that's the worst. Damn.
Oh, fuck. I'll go nuts.
No Slurpees for you.
They're not serving Slurpees anymore.
And 7-Eleven would miss your business. Do they all know you there, Brian?
Oh, they know who I am.
Of course they do.
Wave to me, you know.
Everybody in your city knows you, man.
Everyone in 7-Eleven. That's
Anytime
my
you
city.
go somewhere with him,
Yeah.
walk up and say hey to him, no matter where we go.
Yeah. But 7-Eleven people know who I am. And
Yeah, you don't realize how much you miss those sort of things, but I enjoyed that going to see Brian on Saturday. If we went out somewhere, we were sure to run into somebody he knows, and I'm sure you must miss that. You go out anywhere, and your people know who you are.
oh man,
We're gonna really be thankful for everything that comes back, and we're gonna appreciate it more. And then, like 2 years from now, we'll all forget it again. People drive so nice now on the freeway too. And then every once in a while, there's some guy that's just out of his mind going 100 miles an hour. It's very strange. Same thing happened after 9/11. It's very weird. I noticed both times. Put on your blinker, they actually let you over now. People are more relaxed.
Yeah.
Like a forced Christmas.
It's still kind of sad, you know.
Oh God, I had to move my daughter out of her dorm today. There's garbage everywhere. It's just an empty ghost town, the entire place. Trash all over the place. It's so depressing. Nobody there. They all moved out last week.
Yeah.
We were down at the beach, so yeah.
All right, Brian, are you done, or are you?
Yeah, I'm done. You know what? Like and subscribe. We kind of veered off on a few subjects, but you know what?
Go anyways. That's great.
I'll tell you something. These are difficult times, and we need to discuss. Look, we need open discussion on a wide range of subjects. After this stimulus bill, after this COVID-19, I think platforms should be open, and open dialogue and open discussion should be had. Just bottom line.
We need to stick together and be nice to each other. So
we need that too. We need that too. I think we need to be nice to each other and stick together. We're going through tough times right now.
Yep.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Brings out the best or the worst in people.
Let's hope it brings out the best.
Well, it seems like it is.
Well, hopefully.
So far, so good. All right. So make sure you subscribe, and we'll make sure to do more shows.
That's it, man.
Thanks, Darren.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, that'll do it, man. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment below, hopefully. All right. Will that do it for the show? Joe, did you just leave? I think Joe just left. And if he did, I guess I will end the show. But like I said, like and subscribe. And also, you know what? You can share it and leave a comment below. And also, we always welcome your calls. Think I said something wrong or incorrect? Please comment about that. Thank you.